Ava.
No, because it's
How
not
can you
his
prove
place.
that
He was
him?
never there. He was never there.
I obviously I've stood by the fact the whole time and nothing's still changed for me. I still think the family know exactly where he is, and every day something comes up to make me think that even more. And you say they can't pull it off, their dumb kids off their faces. So far, they have pulled it off. Until they're
I
arrested,
don't believe they have.
they've pulled it off, really, until they get arrested.
I think the police are well aware of what's happened. I mean, I don't know if it's true, but there's people that have done videos.
Is it a convictable charge? Do you know what I mean? That's two different things. There's knowing that someone's wrong, and then knowing if they're actually going to get any prison time.
Does anybody know if he had an iPhone or an Android?
iPhone, it was.
iPhone.
I ain't got Scooby, mate.
Well, we all know
He
the fact
apparently had an old iPhone, and Lucy's got a newer one.
that doesn't matter. I mean, we all know the trackability of iPhones. Even when they're turned off, they will give the last known location within 100 yards. So.
But that Lucy travelled, like what I read about her, she travels every week. They checked her passport. She's continuously travelling around Europe, and she don't have a job. I'm telling you what that screams. Tropical.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Money doesn't come out of anyone's bumhole. Do you know what I mean? You can't travel for free. Unless she's selling herself around Europe. That's the truth. The only other thing that makes absolute sense is some form of drug mule.
So does everyone here think he's alive?
Yeah, I do.
I do.
I do.
No,
Well,
I
yeah.
don't know. I think it's been too long. Like,
I hope he is.
If they want us to believe their story, then it's been too long.
You know
it's been, even if it's kidnap ransom, like I still can't get my head around that 30 grand is enough for a modern day ransom sum.
Yeah, but
That's
they
big
didn't
pennies.
expect this amount. He's
Not
not,
when it's going up.
He's not famous. Who is he? Do you know what I mean? He's some kid. So they didn't expect this amount of attention. I don't think anyone would.
But
So
with
I
all the
think 30
attention,
grand
do you
would be
really think if
okay.
he's been kidnapped for ransom, he's still alive with all
Can
this
I be
media
honest?
attention?
I do. I believe they haven't let him go because, honest to God, no one knows what to do. It got too much attention. How are they going to get the money? How are they going to do? How are they going to answer the questions? Where normally this has happened a few times since January. This girl just said 11 times. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry, can I interrupt? Kate Boy, I have asked you to wait. When there is a box free, I will add you up. I have said to you 2 times now, just be patient. Sorry.
But my point is, it's just got too big for them to know what to do with it. Where they've done this scam, it's been smaller, it's worked. No one expected. This guy is not famous, okay? He is really some kid, them. Just like all the other ones that go missing. Just like if we look at Madeleine McCann, why is she so special? We don't know. But certain ones just blow up. This one's blown up. They don't know what to do. I think they're just taking time and working it out. And deciding whether or not he's better off dead or alive, if I'm honest. If it's even worth the money. Because like you said, yeah, it's a lot of trouble for that amount of money. But they didn't expect it to be this much trouble, did they?
Can I just say, sorry guys, can I just reply to Rihanna? Rihanna, that wasn't her that done the GoFundMe with the other guy. It was another Lucy, but everyone is sharing this narrative that it was her, but it wasn't. Just so you know, I just want to clear that up.
I just put up a poll saying, do you think we're ever going to get the full story? And everybody said no.
No.
100%. Everyone thinks no.
Can I be real with you? Even the nicking of a watch, right? That could happen in London. Not being funny, you could look at someone the wrong way in London and you'll get juked up. But they didn't expect it to be so sensationalised. Do you know what I mean? And that's the problem here. That's why we're never going to know. There's too many questions. Not enough. You're right, there's not enough money. I think that's part of the problem. There's too many questions to release him.
Kizza in the comments said his mates know, and I agree with that one. I think his mates do know more than they're letting on.
100%.
You got to remember,
100%
if he did show his face now, yeah, it's not just about where he's been for the last 2.5, 3 weeks, whatever it is. He would also have to explain right from the club.
Yeah. And then he'd
Because,
have to
you know,
possibly put
because
them all in
how's,
shit.
or he'd have to be versed in the story that the others have told.
But does he have to say anything? You know,
He would have to tell the story of going up the mountain to keep all of them safe.
Would he have
Yeah,
to?
but then
though,
why
like,
has he
legally?
survived for so long?
And
know
then
what
he'd
I
have to have a story from there, wouldn't he?
That's
From the
the difficult part.
mountain onwards.
Well, he could say about the club. I was on drugs and I was on alcohol. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Facts.
I think the watch thing is a setup. I don't think he did steal a watch.
No, I don't. I don't either.
I think this is a story that they've concocted.
But you know what I mean,
That
though,
he's
innit,
done
though?
what?
If people in London, sometimes we see, even if you look at them wrong, you've heard of people getting stabbed up for wrong identity and whatever. Do you know what I mean?
You know what's interesting, actually? I saw on Lucy, because you know Lucy's got a second page on Instagram. It's like where to travel next. That's like her
her work.
business, her little cover-up business. Well, my friend works for ABTA, and I said, this is my friend. I was like, she's ABTA approved. How is this possible? She went for all the training because Lucy put up a certificate thing on her Instagram for it. My friend was like, yeah, if she's a drug mule, there's no way that she's going to be allowed to continue being ABTA approved. They'll investigate that.
Top left-hand corner under Laura's name, there's a clipboard. That poll is asking whether or not you believe the watch story or not.
I wonder what that clipboard was.
That's where you vote. I'll be putting up polls throughout the lives.
Is there
I don't
anyone?
believe for 1 minute that Lucy's trafficking. She travels far too much. I think it's more likely that she's just serving up wherever it is she goes.
Guys, is there anyone that would like to drop down? It's just I've got a few people in the pot.
Let me drop, Laura.
I'd like to rotate.
Yeah, I can
I'll
drop
drop
down
down.
as well if you want to
I
drop
only
me.
Drop down.
just a couple would be fine.
I'll go. I've got a few bits to do.
Can I ask one more question and then I'll drop in?
Go on, Scott.
Right, because I don't watch the news, I haven't watched TV for 10 years, right? So I'm only kind of getting the aroma of the story, right?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the watch.
You don't know anything about the watch?
No, nothing at all.
Oh, okay, so there was a story that was going nearer the beginning of Jay going missing. There was a story that someone had got robbed of a Rolex, and then Mark William Thomas come out the other week and last week and made a video on his Instagram saying that they've managed to piece parts of the story together. He'd left the club at 6 o'clock. It took an hour to get to the B&B, and that Jay had left at 8:10. That's when he seen the woman from the B&B. Apparently he was wearing black trainers, and his friends had told Mark that he had robbed a watch. That's
Right.
what. So he'd robbed a Rolex, and his mates had said, "Why don't you go back to the B&B?" And he said he's too scared.
72% of the audience believe that the watch storyline isn't believable.
So do you think it's possible then that basically he got into shit, he was told to pay a certain amount of money, and because he didn't get it, he robbed a watch to pay the money, and because he didn't get it, he was then taken. Is that a possibility, you reckon?
Could be.
Who knows,
I think the watch thing is just a story to cover up what it really was.
Could be. I mean, to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense off the cuff like that.
Welcome, Chief.
Yeah, but what does make sense to me, and what it smells like to me, is the modern day ransom stuff, But the thing is with the modern day ransom thing, which is a lot like Madden and McCann, is they can still come back alive, or they can still kill them. So it doesn't, it might be real or it might be set up, and either way you could end up dead or alive.
Not going to do it.
As a result of it,
How do I do that?
Hi, Michelle.
We can hear you, Michelle.
Oh, sorry, I'm just.
That's okay.
I'm just sorry.
You're all right, Michelle. How are you? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I've followed this story from day dot. I'm so frustrated.
I know it is, isn't it? You don't know whether
I
you're
am
coming up.
so frustrated because there's so much lies being told.
I'm working
And
through the
even
list.
in the media, even the massive media, everything's been thrown out from BBC to this one to that one. They're all, it's quite shocking.
Yeah.
You know,
And I'm an East Ender. I come from London.
Yeah.
And I don't believe it was up in the mountains, for one.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I believe that it's a scam.
Yeah.
I believe that the truth is he's in hiding. He's not dead. So I said he's dead.
Yep.
The young guy is hiding for his life. Even his mates have turned his back on him. I believe that the whole shabam, because of the state he was from day dot, they was all watching him. They knew that he was going to be a fast thing. The watch is fabricated.
Yep.
I believe the whole lot is fabricated from day dot. The GoFundMe was put up by Lucy, not the parents.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else is involved. The Brandon to Brad. Brad, does he not live over there? The other guy.
What, Brad or Brandon?
No, Brandon. No, the other one. Does he
Brad.
not live in Tenerife?
I don't think that's been even sort of discussed.
It's been rumoured that Brandon does, but I don't know for 100% if he actually does or not.
Well, that's the fabrication.
Sorry, guys. Who's Brandon?
He's
Brandon's
off the
the other
radar.
friend.
Literally got off the radar, and he was the one that was watching him all night.
There were three friends. That was Brad, Brandon, and Jay and Lucy all together. And
yeah,
we've heard from Lucy, we've heard from Brad, but we've not heard a thing about Brandon.
and I think Brandon lives over in Tenerife. So he putting up Jay, because this is like Jay's running from something, and I think he's running from his friends. I think something happened way before that, and I believe that someone's covering him and he's harbouring him. They're protecting him out there.
Mm.
I don't think he's dead, 100%. In my hearts of hearts, as a mother, that boy's not dead. I could be wrong, but I think that something happened between the whole lot of them, and he got that gut instinct that was something that was going to be thrown out there, and he just disappeared because something weren't right, sitting right with him, regardless of his past. I believe that he got taken out there as vulnerable, and he had a gut instinct that morning.
Thing is, I think people can say what they like about him. I don't know, 18 is classed as an adult, but he was 19, he was a kid, do you know what I mean? He was a kid.
You only have to look at his pictures.
He doesn't, like, if anything did happen to him, he didn't deserve it. I know what he did was terrible
he
for
did
that
not
lad.
watch. That watch is fabricated.
Oh, yeah, that watch is just a fairy tale story, I don't believe that.
Yeah, wherever that's come. Funny thing is the parents, right, if I was Debbie, the mother, see Brandon, is it Brandon?
Yep.
His mum, I'd be outing them straight away. Get out.
Yeah.
Stay off. Go home. Go home, 100%. Go home, because they are the instigators. The woman is vulnerable, and they are taking over everything because they know the truth. So therefore, I'd be saying, go home. Don't keep them out there, because she's vulnerable. She don't know where her head's from here to there. As a mother, just get rid of her. Get rid of her. She's controlling everything. Is it the GoFundMe she's in control of? Debbie's statements, I don't think it's coming from actual Debbie. I think they're coming from this young lad's who's laughing with the black eye. He's definitely involved. Definitely involved. And so is
Well, Brad's body language was really strange. Really.
Before I just interrupt you for a second, I just want to check Kate Boy's old enough because
sorry.
Hi, Kate Boy.
I can confirm Jay Slater is not behind my radiator.
Right. Bye.
What a fucking knobhead.
Right, go on, Dean.
What was he even saying? Sorry.
I can't remember. I was. My head went.
What did that? Oh, Brad's body language in that interview when he was smirking and everything. I reckon that's dead weird. Like, because I watched the body language expert. And he said what he was doing with his hands and smiling is because, like, he didn't seem to care and he was nervous about being caught out on what he was saying. And if my friend, I just know from experience, like, if my friend went missing, I'd be looking high and low, not being able to sleep and everything. Like, it wouldn't be like that.
If anyone else would like to to join the box, please press the guest button at the bottom.
I'll drop out if you want me to.
Yeah, no worries, Scott. I'll wait until someone join. If I get some people joining, then I'll rotate them.
Sorry, Laura.
That's all right. Hi, Chloe. Are you all right? Hi, Chloe.
Chloe, are you there?
Right, let me request.
Turn your mic on, please, and let us know how old you are.
No, we don't. Hi, Chloe. I'm gonna drop you. I think some people think it's box battles.
Yeah.
Chloe looked about 12 years old anyway, so I wouldn't say she was.
Oh, did you see? I can't see their profile pictures. Did you see? Don't. Hi, Lenny. Are you all right?
Hi, guys.
Are you all right, Lenny?
Yeah, I'm good.
What do you make of all that's been coming out over the last few days? What's your opinion on it?
You know what? It's been my life this last few weeks. I don't know about you, but it's definitely been my life.
I feel like I'm constantly looking through the phone for updates. People are sending me stuff. It's like it's
crazy.
Just
it feels like a celeb.
Yeah.
But you know the real sad part about this all is the fact of how many thousands are on TikTok going live, going chatting, go theories. His parents, family don't care. We care more about this 19-year-old than anyone. It's sad, isn't it? That my youngest son is 20. If that was him, I would walk on my bare feet until I found him. I wouldn't be wanting to go fund, none of that. Get rid of all that. I think the family should go home. What is the point of them being there? They're not doing anything other than aggravating the whole situation.
But I think these kind of lives are actually helping generate more exposure to his case and getting.
Well, that's true, because this time last week, the whole maybe over just a week ago, the whole case was surrounded by this bag.
It was, wasn't it, Lenny?
You know what I mean?
Yep.
This week it's now about a watch.
A watch, yeah.
And it's mad how they just seem to get stuck into it.
Lenny, I will say something though. If his parents weren't there, they'd be getting told to go over there. Do you know what I mean? I think his parents right now can't do wrong for doing right.
I see both sides of it, but I think just with her wanting to have, more family, friends, whatever, over there, that's not the way to go about it. I don't know. It's just...
It's making them look guilty.
Bad. It is. I mean, check your test, put them all on, do something like that, then they'll maybe find out where that... But I honestly don't think he's ever been on that mountain.
No.
I don't believe it. I won't believe it. And I said that from the Tuesday. Whenever that girl Lucy gave her interview, I mean, it just spoke volumes. Come on. It was just staged. It wasn't correct. The next interview was different. The next interview was different times. Then we wait 2 weeks and Brad comes on and he's grinning through the whole interview.
Yeah.
I know, he couldn't even put his chin down. He couldn't even put his chewing gum outside his mouth.
Oh,
could he?
no.
Let's be
If that had been my son
You know what I
doing
mean?
that, I think I would have slapped him.
They know more than they're saying.
They do. They're all involved. They have to
This
be.
is unreal.
You know, you think of them
I
like a
looked
search.
my head around it from day dot. I've got 2 sons, and
Yeah.
I get
my
the
20-year-old.
mum why she doesn't want to come forward. I don't think she's in the right frame of mind to even get her head around it, and everyone else is controlling her brain. Everyone else is controlling her brain.
Dean, is it all right?
What to do,
Sorry,
yeah?
guys. Dean, is it all right to drop you for a minute and you can come back up just so I can rotate the boxes? Dean,
I'm so angry with everything, really.
But don't you think by now the vast area that has been searched on that island, there's no way Jay would have been able to walk that amount, that far.
That's the thing.
With the young lads,
There's another theory.
Guys, one at a time, please. Go on,
Laura, I'm going to drop so you can let someone else up.
All right, hon. No worries.
My
No worries. Thanks for joining.
heart says that he never went up that mountain. But the only other theory that I do have, if they're going to insist that he was up the mountain, bearing in mind that Brad and Lucy were supposed to be his friends, and this IAB guy, he's involved as well. Is there a possibility that because of the trouble that went down on resort, that they've whisked him up there, done all of this, this setup so that it looks like he was there and like he's vanished, but actually they've taken him down through the tunnels to the beach? There's
I've heard that theory,
through
Welcome,
that
Ryan.
gorge there. There's tunnels go all the way through them. They take about 20 minutes to walk through, and they take you right down to the beach. Now, someone that knows that area and has done the trails will know that. Hundreds of people know it. Thousands of people, in fact, know it and have done it. You can actually go down there and do it and go through the tunnels. There's a video. Look it up on YouTube. Tenerife tunnels. And so anyone that knows that could have taken him down there, and he could have gone onto a boat to get him away. And that's their plan: get him away, but make it look like he's lost.
Yeah.
And if that didn't happen, then something terrible happened down in resort to him. I think it's one of them 2 options.
Think about all the theories that are going around. All these theories are based on what we read, see every day, that people are coming out and talking about it.
Does anybody know if he got involved with any females over there at all?
No, one of the lives I was on last week had said definitely not.
Right, so he was just there on a bit of a bender. Didn't get
he was at the strip, I think it's called.
Yeah, Rolex strip.
He didn't get involved with any women, girls, or nothing like that, no?
I don't think anyone has that information for definite.
Apart from his friends.
I don't think anything like it's come out.
I don't think.
I think the strip is one of those places where most guys will be picking up girls.
It's really popular.
Yeah,
for that over there.
None of us will ever know for definite until that's released by someone who was there. But
it could be in some apartment.
I doubt he was. I doubt he was just on his own the entire time.
Is it true that his mum said that?
Hang on, can we just let Laura speak? Sorry,
Kate. Sorry, April. I just wanted to hear from Katie as she hasn't had a chance to speak. Are you all right, Katie?
Hi, sorry. I'm all the way over in New Zealand and I've been following this case for weeks. I feel like I've abandoned my poor husband, but that's all right. And so I'm so behind on everything because of obviously the time differences. So every time I get up in the morning, it's like everyone's going to bed and I'm like, oh, but what's happened?
Oh, no.
But that's all right. But I fully agree with, there's no way that he was up in the mountains, I don't think, anyway. There's been so much evidence that his phone was just thrown up there because the path that it was on or that it was pinged on, you have to get a machete to get into it.
Yeah.
So it's like, it doesn't make sense that it was there. And there's been so many stories about people allegedly hanging around them in the club. And like, obviously you don't know what to believe. You can't back up any of these stories. But I just, the whole Rolex thing was discussed right at the very start.
No,
And nobody believed it because obviously there was no evidence, and now there's stuff coming out about it. So it's really hard to think of what to believe because so many things are coming out that was said at the start. So, yeah,
true.
I don't know.
I don't know, guys. Did you actually hear or see the statement that was issued by the civil or the guard, civil, whatever you call them? They have put out a statement in the last, I think it was last hour and a half, that they think there is a possibility that Jay's phone could have been placed on that spot by somebody else.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see it? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Hi, Katie. Hi, Celeb. Hi.
So, you know, what makes you, it's just everybody's baffled.
Yeah.
Caleb, have you got anything you wanted to add?
Caleb?
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry, I was away. Yeah, what I wanted to say is about these two guys that took him back to the B&B.
Yeah.
They said he was in a state and his friends left him.
Yeah.
And they wanted to make sure he was safe, so that's why they took him over there. But what I can't understand is if they thought he was in that state, why didn't they take him back to his hotel, drop him off at his hotel?
Exactly.
Why drive him to a place that's like an 10-hour walk, or like, 1 hour away on a bus?
Yeah,
I just don't get it. Why they took him over there?
I think it was to allegedly buy the Rolex from him. That was what the whole thing was, apparently. They took him up there to buy the Rolex from him.
That to me,
that's where they had the money. I don't get it either.
That's just the Rolex. It's the Rolex story.
One at a time, guys. Sorry, one at a time.
Sorry.
Go on, Caleb.
Yeah, that's if the Rolex story is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like I said last week, it was the bag with the apparent things in it. This week it's the watch. What's it going to be next week?
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say anything about it, right? But a couple of years ago, something similar nearly happened to me, right?
Oh.
But I was on holiday with my dad. Just me and my dad the other way, right? And my dad, obviously being my dad, he stayed in the hotel, and I went out just in the clubs and so on and so forth, right? Anyway, so I got lured in by a girl and got started talking to a girl who was part of a bigger group of men that had a bit of a plan for me, but it didn't obviously go to plan because I didn't go along with what they wanted me to do, right? Like they knew I was going to give them more shit than they wanted to deal with. So that was my only question about why, who was he last seen with, and so on and so forth. Because what she did to me was she took me out of where I was in my comfort zone in the club environment. She then took me to a different club, and I could see her talking with these other guys, and these other guys came over and was trying to grab me and push me out.
That must have been terrifying for you.
It's so scary, yeah.
It's a bit weird when you're in a country and nobody speaks English. They're all talking to each other. They wanted to fight you and to try and drag you out of the club. But I managed to handle the situation anyway, and I got back onto the moped that I hired. I was pissed up at the time as well, and I went back to the hotel. But it just makes me think, well, what would have happened if I wasn't able to handle myself as much? And
yeah, it's that easy, eh?
So I'm just wondering who was he last seen with? Was it his friends, or was it just another group of people that he was talking to that because when he looked at the girl that was with me and then the guys that she was familiar with, they just looked like normal people, right? Until everything went wrong.
I I actually think, Scott, that they all went back.
Yeah, me too.
I don't believe that he went off with two people he didn't know and his friends let him. I think they all went back there together to do whatever they were, whether it was to the watch or the DRUGS or whatever, but I do not believe that them lot weren't with them.
No, same.
Can I just say thank you to She Draws, who's given you the full day 3,000 likes, Laura.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you.
And thank you to everyone else who's been tapping the screen and sharing the live.
Yeah, thank you. We do appreciate it. I'm gonna, Lenny. Who's going in it? Steph, is it all right to drop you down, hun, so I can add some more people?
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. I think April wanted to say something, Laura.
Yeah, go on, April.
Yeah, no, it's, I think it's just really baffling, isn't it, that all of this, because we really don't know. Everything's so far-fetched, isn't it? Well, not far-fetched, but sort of the opposite, if you like. You know, did something happen down there in resort, or did something happen up there? But I think if he went up that mountain, I believe that it was them trying to get him away from trouble. And he probably went through those tunnels, and he's got a boat from the gorges. That's what I think. And they're trying to make it look like he's lost to get him out of whatever that trouble was down in resort. Or the other option is something happened in resort. But, what I'm thinking is if something happened in resort, then it was unlikely to have been any of them. They were his friends. So why would they go to lengths to cover it up?
If somebody is disorientated enough to where they drop the phone, then they're not going to last much longer before they collapse themselves, right? So wherever it's phone...
It wasn't dropped. This is the thing which is strange as well. I actually saw where the phone is, and it was days and days ago. I don't know why it's so late in coming out. Christopher Tenerife was actually stood there. It's a blatant gravel path, looks about 2 foot wide, very flat. A 2-year-old could walk along it.
Yeah.
And then next to it is like really thick, deep brambles, and then growing out of the brambles is like all the, the other green plants. So you couldn't actually walk on the ground. It's not the plants, that are growing up. It's the actual ground that you'd have to clear away to get to it. So it's like someone's either stood up on the road and thrown it, or they've walked down that path and then just like frisbeed it into this. Imagine thick bushes, but it's not. It's cacti.
Yeah, that's why they said they needed a machete to get into it if he was there. Because it doesn't make sense.
But that's what I'm saying, though. If the story is true in accordance to what they're saying, like he went for a walk, he got disorientated, he dropped his phone, and he's missing.
Yeah.
If he's that disorientated to where he drops his phone, because let's face it, none of us would drop our phone, would we? It'd probably be the last thing we hold on to, right? If you're on a street path or whatever, if you're disorientated, dehydrated, whatever, you're going to last maybe 20, 30 minutes after that point, right? So you're not going to be that far away from wherever your phone is. So,
and there's always the possibility that it's only Lucy and Brad. It's only their word that they spoke to him. That could have been all staged.
Yeah, but where's this Brandon? Like, nobody's heard from him.
Yeah.
Like, where is he? That's where I don't understand either.
Yeah, exactly. He's the only one that actually hasn't made a statement, isn't he? Like a proper.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Everyone else has, but not him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, one of the biggest issues is it's a lot like the Nicola Bully case. I don't know if anybody.
Yeah.
It's quite. I mean, it was easy enough for me to try and fish through that because I don't watch TV, I don't watch the news, so I was only dealing with the kind of raw evidence that was dealt with. I even spoke to, the diving investigator and his wife at the time as well. But it's so hard to try and distinguish because even different social media platforms tell different stories. Depending on where it came from. So it's like depends on which one you listen to. Depends on it makes a difference on what narrative you've got or what story you've got. So what I'm going to do now tonight is probably try and do a bit of research, but it's difficult. It's difficult to know which one is actually telling the most accurate one, or exaggerated one, or anything else. And I don't really know yet at the moment.
Interesting one. I put up a poll saying, do you think there was a ransom? And it was nearly 50-50.
Oh, wow.
So the actual results were this. 42% said yes and 57% said no.
Oh, wow. It's such a hard one to think about because you don't want to believe that the family and things know more than what they're putting out there. But I don't know, there's just so much pointing to that they do. It's
And then you've got Debbie's statement, which was issued earlier today.
I read that.
Encouraging people to put more money into the.
I know. And Lenny, the fact that she called it a fundraiser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, that got me going. Oh, don't get me started. Oh.
The other thing that she mentioned on the GoFundMe was that she was helping down the rapids and is it Cal?
Yeah.
And they're both saying that they haven't, that Cal said he's gone home now. And he said, no, they didn't pay for my accommodation. That's why I left because they couldn't afford it. But yet on the GoFundMe, she said that they did.
Katie, he then did his own statement saying that they did pay for his hotel and flights. In his statement, he stated £740. But he then was saying, and he was then saying, yeah, but they didn't pay for my essentials. What does she? What does he want her to do? Come out and bake her a cake? Bake him a cake?
Yeah.
And give him bottles of water. You know what I mean? Are you for real?
Just before he got on the airplane in the airport, I mean, like he was on live there, and he did.
That's what I watched too.
He did clarify that his hotel and flight was paid for, but he was.
I missed that part.
I mean, he did a thing earlier. I'm going to announce. I'm going to expose everything at 4:00. Everyone went over at 4:00.
Well, he's still sitting on.
You, he didn't say nothing that we already didn't know.
Oh.
What happened? He then put it on a sub-only live, right?
Oh, of course.
And then after that, he opened it back up. And then what did he do? Start battling.
It's so sad because that's how I got onto this case. I stumbled across one of Down the Rapids videos, and I'm a true crime fan, so I was like, oh, intrigued, and I started following it. And the first 7 or 8 videos, he's so keen, he's interested, he's in the trees, he's in the mountains, he's doing this. And then I'm not a hater, but as soon as he started talking to the family, it's like everything changed. And he stopped. He's not, every video he's put out for the last 4 days, he's been sitting at his little Airbnb. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you've paid for another 2 weeks. Why are you just sitting there? I don't get it.
He's been exposed.
On his live the other night, he dropped a bombshell and that he quickly went off the screen. And he's only had 2 videos up since.
What did he drop?
What happened? He let something slip. Debbie had the phone, had Jay's phone. That was it. There was other evidence, but because it was said on the live, they tried to sort of backtrack it. But no, he did actually say it on the live. But then he went off straight away. He just cut the live straight away. Realised what he was doing. He had come out with maybe 3-4 things.
But he's been exposed as a liar as well. Like he said, he was working with, raising the money for Scottish Rescue, and then another creator had contacted them, and said, and then they replied saying that they'd only ever heard of him from the 4th of July when he contacted them. So he's sitting there saying he's working for Scottish Rescue, but they didn't even know about him.
Yeah, so there's another video that went around of a girl exposing him. I don't know how much of it's true, obviously, because you can't believe everything. But she said he's not even a part of the Scottish Mountain Rescue.
Yeah, that's what I just said,
Yeah. So, and she was like, he just goes off in his little tangents and makes money from it.
And she was like, he just goes off in his little tangents.
Whoa. It just needs to catch up.
You know that he's doing it to make money. Just by when you watch his videos, and I'll promise you, it will be every single one of them. He's like, And he'll repeat everything. I've got mad respect for that woman. I've just got mad respect for her. She is a lovely, lovely, lovely woman. Yeah, big love. Everything's repeated, and it's just to stretch the video out. So he makes on it.
Lenny, what we're going to do one day, we're all going to play his video. Every time he says big love, we're going to take a shot, right? And I guarantee you, within 10 minutes, we're going to be smashed.
Can I just say that 93% of the audience believe that Lucy had involvement?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
I think she knows more than she lets on.
Do people think that these B&B guy, whatever, Lucy, Brad, Brandon, do you think that they have been part in doing something bad to Jay? Or do you think that they've set up this lost thing because they've actually helped him and they've got him out?
Oh,
I'm not so sure about Brad.
You're gonna have to put smiley face for if you agree that they had a part, or sad face if you think that they didn't.
Repeat that again, because even I'm lost.
I think that
So
Lucy
sad
was
face if
definitely
you
involved.
think they didn't have a part, smiley face if you think that they had a part in it.
Have we established whether Brad or Bradley is actually living in that
I'm
area?
getting a lot of smileys at the moment. I haven't seen one sad face. What's going on?
And the reason I say that is because we're not seeing a lot of emotion from Debbie. And I put my hands up. None of us know how we would act, but we're not seeing a great deal of emotion from her. We've seen an interview with Brad, and Brad's looking smirking.
Yeah.
Bordering on smiling. Lucy, as a young girl, you'd imagine that she would be a mess, and that doesn't seem to be the case.
No.
All of their actions are kind of pointing to the fact that he's okay somewhere.
Yeah.
That makes me think, if those kids tried to make it look like he's lost in the mountains, because they've got him out, and that Ayub, without a shadow of a doubt, he will know his way through the tunnels and look down through the gorges. He's familiar with that place. There's more photos up now of him with some other lads.
We've got one sad face out of all of those. And that was from Dave. The rest of the people all said smiley faces.
There was Brad actually put something on his Instagram saying that he was home and that everyone was mental for thinking he had anything
I
to
read
do
that
with
out
it.
here the other day, his statement. I mean, the absolute attitude on that statement. I mean, I'm going to see if I can find. I think I've got it here, and I'll read
Thank
it
you,
out.
Helen.
Right, I'll read out his statement that he put on his Instagram. I think it was yesterday or the day before. One of the who just wrote that is hot. You're going to get muted.
What about Brad's mum?
I'm just going to read the story, the post out that he put on his Instagram, Steph. 1 second. So for many of, I'm going to say it how I'm reading it, right? To many of you believe in the internet, honestly, need your head sorting. Slap face head emoji. Coming up with all these conspiracies, saying this and that, saying why have I only just spoken out now? What and whatever else. You think I wouldn't have already been questioned by the police already? Only because all yous on here have heard my story now doesn't mean no one else has. If it was up to me, I wouldn't have ever jumped on the news, but Jay's mum asked us herself, so I did it for Jay and her. So if you think that that's the first time I spoke out, you're all idiots. And then also thinking I'm involved in it is beyond me. We've been mates for years, come on our first holiday together, and unfortunately this has happened. We ain't drug mules or whatever if you're all saying. So people need to know the facts before talking shit on the internet. Hope it clears some of it up.
Why did he wait until he was home before he would give that statement?
Well, not even that. It's like, unfortunately, just even the way he says, like, oh, like, about him, his friend coming on, and unfortunately this happened. Like,
that's what stuck out to me too.
You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately I didn't make that dinner date. Like, it's like, unfortunately my friend went missing and died. Like, are you joking? Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? What his wording on it and the cheekiness of him. I didn't like his interview, and I certainly don't like that statement either. To be quite honest, he's like a cocky, you know, in London, like a cocky little prick. I would say. Do you know what I mean?
But do you think the guys that went back to the Airbnb with Jay, do you think they were involved? Because they're very sketchy.
Oh, 100%.
Like, he used a fake name when he booked it, and he booked it 90 minutes before they went there or something.
Yeah, booked it. Yeah,
I think there's a huge possibility that they got him off the island.
So the guys that went with him back to the B&B, are they Tenerife residents? Yeah.
No.
Well, because I don't get it, because obviously the boys that were out there, the boys that Jay went with, they had already been out there for a few days. Where were they staying prior to the Airbnb?
Yeah, and one of those guys was he was in prison years ago for being a drug runner.
Yeah, he's actually back in Luke. We had someone in the box last night who's from where he's from, and they said that the police are like all over him, like he cannot move, like they are on him. So he lives in London, but I think he spends a lot of his time out into, you know, like these influencers do when you see them go off to Dubai. Do you know what I mean? They're always in Dubai. They're you know, backwards and forwards.
Apparently, he owns a cafe in Tenerife. Like,
no, his friend
works there.
Yeah, his friend is a rapper.
Got a paper, owns it.
Yeah, and he owns the one of the places out there.
The Observer, providing you with the latest TikTok drama from across the UK.